Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of H.I.M, How I Met. In this episode, we're going to talk about Gav Beats. Yes, Gavin. So, disclaimer, the stories that I tell are my stories alone. Who I talk about may have a different rendition of the story, but these are mine and mine alone. So, yeah. Gav Beats, I love Gav Beats because, not only because he is a fellow Gemini, but I love my Geminis. He's a good person. He's a great person. He makes great music. Fantastic singer. Just an all around good person. So I met Gav Beats some years ago. I don't remember exactly what year. If you watched the How I Met Mike Blaze, then this is how I met Gav Beats. And a lot of my How I Mets are connections with other people that I know or have met, and then I end up meeting someone else. If you've noticed that. So I was hanging out with Mike Blaze in the studio, and he was like, "Yo, my friend Gav about to come through. We're about to do some work." I was like, "Okay." And then I try to stay back and not mess with people when they're working, especially in the studio and different stuff. But Gav came in, and he's like a ball of energy. When I tell you he's a ball of energy, he is a ball of energy, and it's positive, wonderful feeling energy. And he was just excited. He was ready to work. He was doing his thing. And then he was like, "Yo," so he was talking to me. He was telling me about different stuff he was working on, different stuff he'd been working on. And like, we just sitting there having a conversation. Mike just looking at us like, what in the world? Like, we were talking like we were long lost friends, and we were catching up on everything that we need to catch up on in life. It was a wonderful interaction when I first met Gav, and it's not been anything different since then. If you've ever seen him perform, if you see him on on live, you see him on videos, all of that, he is a great energy person. Like, I don't even have words to explain it. So that was the first time I met him. Then we were able to hang out with him at his studio, and it was the same thing. Like, he had his artists in there, and he was getting the beats, and he's all into everything that he does. It's like he puts all his energy in it and behind it, and it's just a wonderful thing to see and watch. And I've seen him perform quite a few times, and his performances, like his singing, the performance, just who he is and what he brings it's like beyond amazing to watch. If you know anybody, or you've ever seen anybody who actually loves and enjoys what they do, and to see him as he's like especially when he has a live band, now that's when you really need to see him. So when he has that live band and that live audience, and it's like they're feeding off of his energy and he's feeding off of their energy, and he's singing and doing his thing and jumping around, like, it is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I've seen him in a jam session, and it is phenomenal. Like, if you he's everywhere, but mostly in Greensboro. So if you ever get the chance to connect with Gav, or see him headlining a show or doing a show or anything, or watch one of his lives when he's just in his studio and making music and doing stuff, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and how this man just brings positive energy, and he's just a one of a kind type person, just happy, and all I can say is positive energy, because that's all I feel whenever I'm around him, or whenever he comes around, and even when I see him on the screen, it's like, oh my God, look at Gav doing, like, it's just love. Like, he's just amazing. So, yeah. So yeah, some of them are short, some of them are long, and some, like, I just don't have enough words to say about the person to stretch out a whole video. But I just want to say, Gav, fellow Gemini, you are wonderful. You are amazing. You are a big light and life and ball of positive energy. And I implore you to keep doing what you do and keep spreading it to everybody you meet and keep doing the great work that you do, producing and singing and performing and everything. Just pretty much just being you. So yes, yeah. So that's my how I met Gav Beats. Thank y'all for watching. Hey everybody, welcome to my interview with Gav Beats. Hey Gav,
How you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
I can't complain. I can't complain at all. You know what I mean?
Good. Good. I see you looking good. Did you get a haircut? Is that what's going on?
That bet and Blue Moon, I take the head off instead. I always keep a cap on for some reason.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go out for Father's Day with the wife. So I said, let me go ahead and do something to myself today.
Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. And thank you for taking this time out with me today.
No
Um,
question.
and I won't hold you long. I just have a couple of quick questions, but it just depends on where they lead.
Right. You know what I mean?
So, first question I have for you is how many different genres of music have you worked in?
Oof, man, probably almost everyone or anyone you can name. I've probably done work or attempted to work in that, genre, basically. Yeah, I think as a producer or musician, you kind of try to learn every genre of music. You try
Hmm.
to at least. You know what I mean?
So we got some country up
Yeah,
there. Got
most
some,
definitely. Most
yeah.
definitely.
Is
Yeah.
is it the bro country or regular country?
Regular country. Regular
Okay,
country. Yeah.
I'm a fan of the bro country.
You like the bro country?
Yes, yes,
I think I could do both,
yeah. Like Florida Georgia line, them type.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the bro country. I like
yeah,
them.
yeah. They pretty much the same to me. I mean, just, you know, bro. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes, and I think they call it that just because it has a different type of beat with the country,
yeah, yeah,
and they're kind of more secular
yeah.
type. Yeah, I like it though. So
It is. It's dope. I actually, I forget the kid's name, Kane Brown or
hmm,
some new guy that they introduced me to. I just sent some work to him, and he does bro country.
okay.
So yeah.
See, I'm glad I asked. And with that question, who all have you worked with?
Man, we can go down the line. I've worked with Vincent Herbert, Tony Braxton, Keisha Coles, LaKelly 47, Sharifa, Benzino, Rome. He used to be with Immature.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um, he probably was like one of the few first placements I ever got.
Hmm.
Chris Blue was the winner of The Voice. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
different people.
Okay. I see you out there, and you've been doing it. And you know what question I didn't ask you, nor did I have it written down, but I'm gonna ask. How long have you been doing what you do?
Um, Professionally, probably maybe 16, 17 years, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. I kind of got started around about 23, I want to say.
Okay.
And I'm 41 now. So, it's
Okay.
a bit wild. It's a bit wild.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being 40 and over 40 is a wonderful thing.
Oh, no question. No question. You know what I mean? I can't complain. I see no reason to complain on this end right here.
Right. Right. Okay. So, in all of that, well, before I get to my next question that I have written down, I'm going to
Mhm.
ask you this because I found some old interviews from like I forget what year it was from. It was a long time ago where you
Right.
talked about some deep stuff. So, and I think that's when were you rapping then? Is
I
that
was. I was a rapper first, even before I was a producer. I was a rapper first. You
okay?
know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's why I was thinking you were, that's why I was like 16, 17 years. It seemed like it was longer than that. But I'm thinking about music as a whole, and you're
Right.
talking about producing, but you've been doing
Oh,
music.
music, yeah, as a whole, all my life.
Okay.
That's yeah. As I'm thinking, and that's why I said professionally, I would
Yes, you
say
did say that.
15 to 16 years. Yeah.
Okay, okay. But you was dropping them bars
Oh man,
back in the day.
all day, all
Yes.
day. You know what I mean?
But you still drop them bars. You still do
You know what? I tried to rap recently, and it wasn't that it was hard. I hadn't heard the music
mm,
that just made me say, okay, this is a
yeah,
perfect project for that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know your singing is awesome. So
I appreciate it. I
yeah.
appreciate
And we're gonna get to that in a second.
it. Okay.
But how many instruments do you play?
Um, legally, probably three. And but I can play, any piano instrument, organ, all
Hmm.
that stuff. Drums is my first instrument actually. And I used to play uh the baritone in school for a little while. Yeah. Um
Okay.
but I dabble with a guitar, but it's not like crazy, but anything I can learn for a while,
Hmm.
pretty much pick up.
Okay. So do you still play any wind instruments like now, or are you out
Um
of practice?
no, wind instruments was really my sister's thing. I ain't really care for it like that. But
Okay.
like I said, it's always been like my wife get on me because like I want stuff
Hmm.
and play it like a week, then won't touch it no more. I get like she for one of my I think it was my birthday. She had got me some DJ equipment. I learned it, never played with it again. It's just sitting somewhere in the corner somewhere.
You know what? It's I think that's part of your Gemini mind. Like
Yeah,
we're interested in everything. We want to know a little bit about everything, but once we learn enough about it, we're like,
yeah. You know what I mean? Just to say we can do it. You know what I mean?
yes. And
Yeah,
that is the charm of the Gemini. We know
yeah.
a little bit about a whole lot.
That's it. A little bit about everything. Like, oh, you need a doctor? Oh, I can do that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know a little bit about that. What's
Heart
going on?
transplant. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of being a Gemini, and I think this is part of the answer to the next question I'm about to ask you. Where
Right.
do you draw your energy from?
Wow. That's
Yes, because and I asked that because your live performances, I think you do everything but jump on the tables. Have you jumped on tables before? I think you may have.
cheers. And I probably have done a table or two in my time. You know what's crazy? I think it's really the people, and then I'm just energetic in myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I get bored, I got to do something about it. And I'm a person of math. Like I always try to figure equations out in my head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be on stage, and if I don't get the reaction I want, I'm figuring the equation the entire time. Plus, I think I'm a very uh, well-rounded person when it comes to knowing people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I get it from them. They kind of are the muse for that moment. I think everything for me is a muse for that moment. Depending, it could be a phone call, it could be something on TV. I think I made a song one time and I actually had it playing in the background. On I think it was called When Elephants Walk. I watched Selma, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
and wrote a song
Oh,
and just, it goes from everywhere. Seriously. Yeah.
yeah. And that's just because like anytime I see you, anytime I talk to you, you are full of energy. And like I
Yeah.
said, your shows are amazing. And it's I
Love it.
can't
Love it.
yes, I can't wait for the world to open back up so I can catch you
Sheesh.
performing
Sheesh.
again.
Me too. Ooh, man.
Yes, and I actually began listening to your project, the I don't want to say the wrong name, the one you have on YouTube, the love letters, the
Was it
new
Hopeless Romantic or Red
one,
Rose?
the hopeless romantic.
Okay, yeah.
Like I've been listening to that lately. I just pulled you up on YouTube, and then it plays one after the
Yeah.
other, one after the other. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like a lot of the songs were just speaking to me and what I have going on or had going. Like any of it is like, yeah. So I'm gonna have to
That's
get
a
on Red Rose.
that's a to me this last Hopeless Romantic, I think a lot of people could actually relate. It's really
Mhm.
like a dating album because I wanted a vibe type
Mm.
project, and I felt like this was a from meeting a person to getting serious album.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
And yeah, now that you say that, I'm thinking I can't remember the titles, but I remember like I listen to a lot of stuff while I'm working, so I kind of
Right.
just turned it on, and I was like, okay,
Yeah. I
okay, like
think
it makes you listen.
right, and I feel like it's a real it's not a total story, but if you listen to it, kind of, you be like you can kind of catch, for the most part, during the album, a whole entire story during the
Yes,
project. So
and
it goes. I think it goes honestly from meeting each other to being together to actually breaking up and finding out that person is toxic. I think. I think.
mm,
And then I think I may have put the last song on there which messed it up. Um so you could say either they got back together or they something like that, but don't wear that outfit.
mm.
So it's a real roller coaster project.
And I think because YouTube didn't bring it up in order,
Right.
so I think I listened to the breakup one first,
Okay.
and then
Right.
it went into the love story part, and it was like I was like,
Yeah, it's a great
yeah,
project.
yes, okay. So
Yeah.
y'all need to get on that. Hopeless
Please.
Romantic and Red Rose.
Yep.
I'm gonna get on Red Rose next. Well, I'm gonna pull it up and just let it play and get because I mean, like the stuff that you say and the things that you do is very deep and very timely. And I
I
think
appreciate
when
it.
you speak of relationships and love, not much changes. So I think it's gonna stick around.
Yeah, that's a conversation. Like I really don't talk politics and music. I don't really do the whole. Sometimes I throw a prophecy in there, but I don't really because one of my friends hit me about the Red Rose mixtape. The first song on the album was like a play around song,
Mm.
and I did it before everything went crazy with the protesting and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, because I did the whole album during COVID. I ain't have nothing else
right.
to do, and uh I think it goes when COVID-19 is done and we can go back outside. I'm ready to hit the street, drop the top. Let's come on, let's ride. Wishful thinking right now it is right, but right now I must be like Martin Luther King and keep the dream. Hopefully we'll overcome. Mob Deep said there's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. Not knowing,
Mm,
right? I never knew we would go into the protesting part
right.
that would make that song even worse. It was like, whoa. And I hated the song. It was just some intro to put on a project, and it
Hmm.
really got a lot of attention, actually.
Good. And sometimes I know when people are making music, sometimes the one song or two songs that you don't like that you put on there anyway ends up being what the world needs at the time?
all the time. And the ones you really love, they're like, you
Yeah. So I'm glad you put that on there.
know.
And you know I got to talk about the song that I keep in rotation. You said it, I think you said it was 15 years old, the Walk Right Up to the
No,
Sun.
no, not 15 years. That one, man, sheesh. Man, that may be at least 5,
5. Okay.
maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that one. And you
yeah.
said, did you say you had never put it out, or did y'all
Well,
put it
no,
out anywhere?
I never put that album out, never. And I thought about putting the older projects out sooner or later,
Mm-hmm.
just cause, but I'm kind of stuck on just putting new music out right now. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the older stuff. I think people will love it, but I think sometimes the newer you or the right now you is necessary. And you can always go back and put the old you up. But
Okay.
I'm not as excited
Mm-hmm.
of the old me because I think my sound changes ever so often. So
It it does, but also, like we just said, you never know what people need.
yeah, yeah, you never know. And you know what's crazy too is I think that's a very good point. So
Uh-huh.
it's just one of them things that it's not getting around to it. It's just figuring when is the right time to release all
Now,
older
now,
material.
I'm just saying.
Uh, uh, look, you know what? Because I've been talking about it. And like it was really tough putting these two projects up. So I mean, it can happen tomorrow. Like honestly, just
I know, but yeah, but make sure that Walk Right Up to the Sun gets out, because that is my one of the, I was told
hmm
by the other person on the song with you that their verse was about me, but I don't know how true that is. I'm just gonna take it and say okay. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, I and my man stayed up, I'ma back it up. Yeah,
I know that, and that's why I laughed, because you was like, oh yeah, it was.
No, we had a great time even in making that record, and that whole project was because I think that was the last one I did, a Hopeless Romantic, or was
Mm,
supposed to be. So I think after that album, I did Bipolar, and it was crazy. Um, that album, that final album, it was just in a very weird moment going
mm-hmm.
into what would be the new music of mine. So that was crazy. It was real dope. Real dope.
Okay.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
because it was almost like when I knew it was over for Hopeless Romantic, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like done for me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't want to do
'Cause
Hopeless Romantic no more.
I was gonna say, because you were done in that moment. You've done what you felt you could do, and then moved
Yeah.
on. But then you
So
came back and made another Hopeless
and
Romantic.
I did, and I felt like the newer. I think this is going to be the only Hopeless Romantic. And somebody said, "Don't. Why would you stop the
Mm,
names that are assigned to who you are?" And I'm like, well, I don't want that to only be the names
right.
assigned to me, but it's just how do I do it and make it new? Because I have 1 through 5, but it's like I'm starting over again
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
musically. So that's why it's a real and that's been another piece of trying to figure out how to put the older music out because I'm kind of starting over.
Mm,
Yeah.
right. Right. And sometimes you got to put the old out so you can get to the new.
Yeah. Well, the old is out of my head. Yeah. It's
You know what? You right. You right. I'm not even gonna question that, because that's what I tell people all the time. Sometimes you just got to get stuff out of your head, regardless of
yeah.
what you decide to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And one,
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that one. Y'all need to put "Walk Right Up to the Sun." You just put that one out. That one. You just put that one song out.
No, I'm gonna put out. I'm gonna make sure to do that. I promise. I promise. I
Okay.
promise.
Okay. So is there anything that you would have done differently on your path to where you are now?
Uh, the only thing I wouldn't have done differently, apparently God didn't feel it necessary for me to meet Prince, but that's the only thing I would have
Mm,
done different.
yes.
Like, I wanted to meet him so bad. I cried like a baby. Like, my wife called me, and she always every blue moon will make a joke like, "Oh, you cry like a baby." I mean, it hurt. It
I
hurt because
mean,
he was like my idol,
right,
100.
right. Fellow Gemini,
Yeah, yeah.
amazing
And I
artist.
didn't know that until later. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. And you know what's crazy? A lot of people say I sound like Kanye, which is crazy. I think,
Another Gemini.
yeah. And they would say the same thing about Prince sometimes in the way I make music. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing was, what I've learned, it wasn't that I sounded like either one of them because they weren't that much. Well, one wasn't that much older than me, and the other one, um, I did listen to a lot, but sometimes signs make people alike in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ways, even musically.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we just don't know it. And
Right.
I just think the appetite of both. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I
and my
believe.
yeah, in my mind, I think I came before Kanye in my mind,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why when we met, it was like I'd known you forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because when we first met, we were just talking and people were like, y'all know each other? Mm-mm.
yeah.
Today?
And I think that's probably, Gemini's, we different. We just different.
Yes.
Virgos like to work. Certain signs have their thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tauruses are extra pushy. They know, Geminis know that they are everywhere. That's just
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And
Yeah.
I think being a sign of two allows you to be one step in the matrix and one step out. You know what I mean? Woke and sleep at the same time. So it's like when knowing that the middle, the equator of that equation, it's a thin line to
It
cross over.
is.
So
That
it's a
just touched
gift
me
and a
because
curse.
I've never been able to explain it.
Yeah,
But that's it.
yeah.
Woke
Woke
and
and
sleep
sleep.
at the same and you so I can talk to the woke people, I can talk to the sleep people to bring
Yeah,
them to a certain point, and I can
yeah.
understand all this other stuff. Don't mean I talk about it all the time because
Nah,
sometimes what goes on in my head I can't speak on all the time because I know most people are not going to understand it. So I keep
right,
a lot of stuff to me or I write it down because I got to get it out, like you said.
right. Yeah, but it's a thin line to play with as a Gemini, so I get it. Like
Yeah.
it's a fun and scary
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
at the same time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
And for me, I find myself alone in my path a lot.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
So not lonely,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Right. And it's sometimes it's better that way most of the time because that way can't nobody get in the way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Distractions are a easy thing with
Yes,
with
yes,
Gemini. Like
it is.
we can still keep working, but we like it, and that's why I said it's the woke and sleep. Like I like being distracted while working.
Hmm.
That's stupid.
Because it keeps me focused on what I'm doing. Because I'd be like, oh, okay. That's why I play music. Like I said, I play music when I'm working because I need something to tune out to help me focus.
Yeah. So I get it. I get it. Woke and
Okay,
sleep. I mean,
earn it. So Well, my last question is what are you up to now? And we kind of talked about it, but let's still talk about it. What are you up to now?
Um, Now I am actually I took like a I have been working on different stuff, but actually chilling. My work hadn't it wasn't as intense as it was the last couple of months. So
Mhm.
sooner or later I'll be back out the house, like going to the studio and staying like when I come to, carry the studio, I'll stay for like 3 days, no leaving, period. You know what I mean? And just work. Like, and I hadn't did that in a minute. And it's probably gonna be time for me to have to kind of do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
To
And
speed up the process.
let me know when you up there. I'll drop by and say hey.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah. I need to speed up the process of music. So like I do most of the work, albums, both albums that they were recorded at home. So when I need to like just speed up the process, I gotta be in the studio because it kind of just give me room to move around quicker. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Gavin Maestro, Gav
No, thank
Beats.
you,
What other names we got? Gav.
Miss William. Yeah, no,
Oh, that's it. That's all your names.
that's it. That's it. You know what I mean?
You a
Used to be
Gemini.
called
You got at
Red.
least four more names. I
Well,
know
they
this.
used to call me Red back in the day because I'm a
Hmm.
natural redhead. And you know, names.
All right. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Gab Beats, Gab Maestro, Red, and I when I was in college, they used to call me Jiggy.
Say what now?
They used to call me Jiggy.
Jiggy,
Yeah,
get
because I
jiggy
like to
with it.
dress. I like to dress. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Gab G's was my name through high school. Gab G's.
Okay.
Yeah. Had a little gambling problem. So that's how I got there. We all have
We
hey.
all have our vices.
The gamble, it was a thing. It was
Yeah, back then. You not now, just back then.
well, yeah, it can't be on cruise ships too long, because it gets a little ugly. But hey,
No Vegas trips.
no,
Okay.
no. And it's not bad, but it can be. It can be.
Good to know.
You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean everybody has something.
yeah, 17 black. I mean, red
Y'all hear that?
six.
If y'all out there going to Vegas or anywhere, 17 black, hit
Yeah,
it.
red six.
We
It's
and
there.
Gab want his money when it
I
happens.
need it. Give it to me. You know what I mean?
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much
No doubt.
for allowing me to interview you, and thank you for coming on this episode of Him How I Met Gav Beats.
You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean?
Bye.
But